Hi, we're Group L23. Our project is social sense. The problem we're trying to address with this application is children with autism and learning disabilities often face challenges in developing social skills, limiting their ability to recognize and express emotions and navigate common social interactions. Traditional therapy sessions, while effective, lack a large pool of interactive tools to reinforce these skills outside of in-person sessions. Um, I'm Brandon. I'm the project manager, and I worked on front end.
Hi, I'm Emma. I worked on the conversational AI.
Hi, I'm Marcella. I worked on the front end and facial AI.
Hi, I'm Bianca. I worked on the conversational AI and front end.
I'm Joshua. I worked on the facial AI and the database.
So the solution we came up with to address this issue in the application is AI-driven emotional recognition practice, AI-driven simulated social scenarios, progress tracking, and feedback. And the app is meant to be used as a therapeutic reinforcement tool, which supplements traditional therapy by providing structured at-home practice to strengthen and retain social skills. So we're going to move right into a demo. And go ahead, Rosella.
This is our login page the user will see when they first open our app. We also have a register page where they're able to register for our app. So Brenda will sign in. And then as you can see, after signing in, the user will be directed to our home page where we can see all the options to navigate our app. And firstly, we'll go to the settings page. Here, the users are able to change their information. And then back to home.
Okay, so a little bit more about the home screen. So all the art assets were custom made for this app with the main user in mind. So it's meant to be simple, colorful, and engaging. The bar around the buddy, which is the creature in the middle, which we'll talk about a little bit later. So there's the white bar, which shows your current star points, which are filling up to the top there. And when it reaches the top, you'll get a star. The points are an aggregate of the points you get for the emotional practice and the conversational lessons, both of which we'll get to here in a moment. The first thing we're going to look at is the daily check-in. So the daily check-in is something they'll do when the user will do when they log into the app. It kind of helps them identify internal emotions, and it uses colors that are typically associated with those emotions to further reinforce the emotion recognition. So let's say they pick a positive emotion like happy, they'll just be brought back here to the home screen, and then they can begin choosing a lesson they want to work in. If they choose a negative emotion, let's say sad, it brings them here. So this is a breathing exercise page. We're going to go ahead and click start and let you listen to it for just a moment.
Let's practice square breathing. First, find a quiet place to sit or stand. Put both feet on the floor.
So you'll have to forgive the audio. It's because it's plugged into my computer on my phone. It does some speed up thing that is not how the app works. The audio sounds normal. But anyways, this is a box breathing exercise, which a licensed therapist and a licensed yoga instructor will walk the user through. There's a visual cue in the middle that if we let the audio go long enough, it syncs up with the lesson and it will expand and contract based on the breathing. So the child has a visual cue to go off of. This is also something that can be used by a parent if the child is having a hard time, even when not using the app, they can walk through this practice with them. All right, we're going to go back home, and the next thing we're going to look at is the emotion practice.
So this is our emotional lessons. We have offer three types of emotional lessons: easy, medium, and hard lessons. The difference in these is the cues. So we use AWS to recognize all the emotions of the user. AWS has tons of APIs that can detect all sorts of things of the face. This one we are using called Detect Faces. It recognizes all emotions of the face. Brandon can go ahead and select easy emotions. As you can see, in the easy emotion lesson, we offer three cues: a color, a picture, and an emoji. And it's pretty obvious this is happy, so he will select happy. Now he can go ahead and capture his face. This is going to be a smile, so he will go ahead and smile. It'll take a second, and he made a happy face. It'll move on to the next emotion, and he can go through the entire lesson, but he will go back to home now.
All right, the next thing we're going to look at is the conversational lessons.
All right, so for the conversational lessons, we're using role play scenarios, and we chose OpenAI 4.0 Mini for our model. And we did train and fine tune the AI, so we'll go into practice greeting. And practice greeting is saying hi to your friend at the park.
You're at the park and you see a friend. How do you greet them?
Again, forgive the audio.
And we do have speech to text and, of course, text to speech as you saw, so Brendan can go ahead and respond either way.
Hey, how are you doing?
So you can either text it or you can speak it. And then,
Hi, I'm doing great. It's so nice of you to ask how I am doing.
so our AI handles positive responses, just giving
You're such a
feedback.
kind friend. Have a great day.
Brendan gave a positive response. So there was no suggestion for improvement. It was just feedback. And then here you get the final goodbye and more feedback with the view results. Once you click view results, you can see how many points you earned and if you got a star. And then you can go back to your lessons. We did have 3 other lessons. We have practice asking for help, where you are asking for help opening a snack, and practice setting boundaries if you don't feel comfortable giving a hug at the moment, and practice being a good sport, where you practice saying congratulations to the winner, comforting the loser, and the third
Dealing
one.
with the winner being bragging.
So that one is our longest conversation, and it has a minimum of 3 exchanges. As we said, practice greeting is the shortest conversation with only the minimum being only 1 exchange.
All right, so next we're going to look at the conversation history.
Okay, so this is conversation history and it lists all the topics that you can have. If we go into a specific topic, it will show you a log of all the previous conversations based off of the date that they were had. If you click on one, you can see exactly what happened, what the AI said, and what the user responded to it. This way, therapists and parents can see exactly what went on, and it also shows you the score. If we look at the pie chart, if you click on the pie chart, it'll show you a breakdown of what kinds of responses the user gave. And there's 5 possible classifications, including positive, neutral, non-responsive, off-topic, and inappropriate. So this way, parents and therapists can pinpoint what skill deficit they have and how they're doing in conversations. And this is also how conversations are scored based off of the classifications. If we look at the view progression, we can see how the user performs in a particular topic over time. So we can see which topics or skills they're struggling with.
All right, the next thing we're going to look at is the rewards page. So the buddy in the middle is the buddy that you choose, which we'll do in a moment, and it follows you throughout the app. It's the one that you use in the conversations. It shows up on your home screen. It shows up in your profile. And here on the profile page, you can see the number of stars the user has, the total points they have, and how close they are to another star. So if we go into the rewards, you're brought into the shop or the shop. So you can choose from different accessories. Let's just go ahead and pick a couple, and you can buy the selection. And then you can go into the closet and you can try on everything. And you can also put on the things that you purchased. These are my favorite. And now when you leave, it's on your buddy on every page. So your accessories stick with you throughout the app. And then we're going to look at the pick buddy. Here, you're able to choose a different buddy. This is something that you'll be prompted with when you first register. So you can change the name to a custom name. You can have it randomly generate one. Let's switch over to the bear. You can choose a voice and it gives you examples.
Hello, I can't wait to have a fun conversation with you.
Hello, I can't wait to have a fun conversation with you.
All right, we're just going to save and back out. And as you can see, the buddy changes, but your accessories stay the same. And that is pretty much it for the application. Thanks for watching.